Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome again. Now here we are here with someone I've been watching, I've been following for a while. And one of the things I love about doing these videos, these interviews, is because these are the guys that get me to click. These are the guys that get me to click. I just want to talk to them all, right? So every time I get a great opportunity to have them in a sitting interview, I don't want to just say, hey, how did you get me to click? I want to get to know them. I want to understand where they're coming from. In particular, I want to talk about being an entrepreneur, being a person who grows a business, who puts out a message and just lays it all on the line. And my friends, this is somebody who I really admire, enjoy how he does it. His name is Austin Armstrong. Austin, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Eddie, thank you so much. I'm excited to chat with you and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, so let's just do a little, just so people understand who you are, right? You own a company called Social T Pro? Is that how I pronounce that?
Yep.
And you guys have created an incredible product called Syllabi, syllabi.io. So everybody will give you all a link. You'll be able to see how to get and check that out in a minute. But these are a couple of the things you got going on right now to help people. But I also want people to know you have a massive following on several different social media platforms. And you are what I would definitely consider an expert, somebody who I just go, how are you doing it? I like what you're doing. I want to do in my way, obviously. But what are all the platforms that you have social media followings on, and generally how much is on there, just so people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, and just one quick discrepancy. So they're actually two entirely separate companies. So I run and own two companies. So Socialty Pro is the agency, and then Syllabi is an AI tool. And so I'm active on pretty much everything. Uh, Facebook is my top platform right now, which is wild to me, but it's where I get the most amount of reach and engagement. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I'm active on everything. I think somewhere around 3 million followers across the board right now.
Okay, awesome. So everybody understands. And the thing that I notice is what I would say is your specialty is the short form vertical video. Is that the majority of what you do? Because I know that you've got some longer form stuff on YouTube, but that's your bread and butter, would you say?
Yeah, I've been creating content for a long time, like 19 years, but I guess about 4.5 years ago, I got started pretty early on TikTok and figured it out pretty quick, and it all clicked. That short form vertical video content was like I was waiting my whole digital marketing career for this format of content to really come out and thrive. And then I kind of was just fortunate that that's where the market went. I mean, TikTok came and exploded and took the world by storm. And then every other platform followed suit right after it. YouTube rolled out YouTube Shorts, Instagram rolled out Reels, Facebook rolled out Reels, and every platform pushes that as the highest organic reach content. And so I just, took my content that is sort of evergreen, and it works across platform. And it just has worked across every single platform. So I've really leaned into short form content because it's what's been working for the last several years now. And I'm going to keep doing it until something new comes along. I do make a lot of long form content as well, but yeah, short form is like 2 to 3 videos every single day, just consistent with it.
You know, when you're talking about short form video, one of the I think one of the first videos I saw was one where you were talking to yourself and you were saying these 5 websites are going to get you locked in jail, right? And then the other was like, well, why are you telling me? It reminded me of Vine back in the day. I don't know. Were you using Vine at all during that
Oh yeah,
time?
I loved Vine, and Vine walked so TikTok could run, but I miss Vine.
I remember I watched a great documentary about that. But anyway, all right. So let's talk about 19 years. And I think it's important for people to understand that even though you've only come into my world in the last year, there's like 18 years of history here, and so you show up in my world polished, I would say, from my perspective, so much more polished than someone who's just starting out. You are very young looking. So how old were you 19 years ago when you started this whole journey?
Yeah, 14. So I'm 33 now, back on MySpace. And yeah, it's always funny that that's the case, right? So it essentially took I would say my content started blowing up about 3 years ago. So it took, 15, 16 years to become an overnight success. That's how that goes.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I got started back on MySpace when it just, rolled out. I stumbled into it 14 years old, and um, I got pulled into communities of people that were promoting each other's accounts and getting large, people to follow their MySpace pages. And then that turned into monetization opportunities. And it's kind of crazy, but I'm more or less doing the same thing I am today that I was way back then as a 14-year-old on MySpace, just at a much more, professional level now.
okay, so this is kind of cool because we all know that the internet and how marketing is constantly reshaped and it's constantly changing. Like you said, it was fortunate that vertical video became popular at a time that you were like embracing that process. So what you're saying with MySpace was there was a process that worked back then that still works today. And so I kind of want to, if you don't mind, go back to MySpace just briefly because the only thing I remember with MySpace was that you could create really cool backgrounds. And I wouldn't call myself a content creator back then. In fact, I didn't have any business sense whatsoever when it came to the internet. I'm very slow to the party there. But you were part of groups where you were each like following each other. Could you describe that process one more time?
Yeah. So all of these interactions took place on AIM. So we had AIM group chats, like AIM, AIM group chats. And so, how all of the growth happened was through, I forget, it was like a message board feature. It was a different section within MySpace where you could post like an update, and all of the posts were shown in timeline, in chronological order. And whoever you were following on MySpace, you saw their posts. And so what we would do is we would create, these were called trains at the time. It's so funny. But we would be in these big group chats on AIM of 20 or 30 people that had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers. And we'd go through it on a list. And so it would be my turn, and everybody in the group would share my profile to all of their followers in the message board, and it would go out to everybody. And we kind of, you used HTML in there to pretty it up, and there were all sorts of different ways that we were doing that and saying, hey, follow this person. And then, when my turn was up, it's funny, we show proof. So you'd send a screenshot and everyone would upload the screenshot on the AIM chat and say, hey, look, I shared this person. And it's reciprocity. And then you go through that, and we were gaining thousands of new followers every single day. And then people started to reach out to us because we had large followings. And I'm a kid, it was like vanity metrics. There wasn't an original intention like I'm going to make money doing this. It was just kind of early, with social media, it was like dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. Like, oh my gosh, all these new people are following me. This is cool. This is like elevating my ego. But what happened is business opportunists, smart ones, started to see that and say, wow, they're getting a lot of attention, because there was no algorithms at play right there. It was just create content to stay top. And so what we were doing is like early email lead gen companies would say, craft an offer, and oftentimes it was bullshit. And so they just wanted the emails. And so we would create posts that are like, enter your email here for Photoshop 5, or get the first iPhone, or get, entered for this. And every email that we were able to generate for that email provider, they would pay us like $1 or $1.25 an email, because they knew they were building huge email lists 18, 19 years ago before spam filters on email marketing, right? And so they're promoting, whatever garbage that they're promoting via email, and making way, their dollar per email is way higher, so they're able to pay us. And then same thing with like I was promoting local bands and t-shirt companies and things like that, and they would pay me. And then, the epiphany that I had like 6 months ago even is that I had a really close, brilliant friend at the time that was really good at programming and web design, web development. And so we partnered together as 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and he built websites that essentially did the same thing that we were doing in AIM chats. And so we created a website that helped other people on MySpace pay to be added to these like trains, and then and they could pay for their profile to be listed, and then everybody and there was a free element to it, so that's how we attracted people. But all these were spamming like crazy in the message board area on MySpace. And so I had this epiphany 6 months ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, I built a large audience of people and then partnered with somebody to build a website to show other people how to do what I did. And because I had a large following, I'm able to control the marketing to drive sales to my business. And holy shit, that's the same thing I'm doing now at 33. To a T.
So there's the epiphany at 15 going, wow, I can make money with this. And then there's the new epiphany like, wow, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, I did the same thing 18 years ago as a 15-year-old.
It's like back in time and having that epiphany all over again. Oh, this makes money.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up? I'm just kind of curious about your environment back then.
Yeah, I was born in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, farmland, and then grew up in New Jersey. So most of my teenage years to early 20s was in the Jersey Shore, Point Pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah, before moving out to California then in the later 20s.
So what years did you live in Jersey?
Uh 2003 through like 2013 or 14, something like that.
Yeah, were you okay? Okay, the only thing I know about Jersey is what I hear about from watching Kevin Smith movies. I don't know. I mean, is that anywhere near like Red Bank or any of those other places I keep hearing?
Yeah. Red Bank was like 45 minutes from where I lived.
Okay. All right. So you were there for a while and then moved to California.
Yeah.
California because it's not Jersey or
Life things get in the way, and it was a fresh start. I was living with a girlfriend at the time, and we had split, and so I was like, I got I'm young. I think I was 23, 22, 23, and I was like, my mom was out in California, so I'm like, let me try something new, try something fresh. I always had that mentality, like I do not want to live my life in the town that I went to high school with and graduated. I want to get out there in the world. And like so many people, like I went to my high school graduation, and like more than half of them like never left. And some of them are even teachers at the high school that they graduated with. And like nothing against them, but like that's a little failure to launch to me. But sorry if any of my high school graduating class is listening to this. But no, so I went out to California and I lived out there for 8 years, and I loved it. I met my now wife out there. I met my now business partner out there. I got started in video marketing, which I've been doing video marketing for the last 10 years. That all started out in California, and it was the best decision ever. Yeah, it was great. Loved living in Cali.
where in California?
Orange County. So I lived in Huntington Beach, Westminster, Brea, and Fullerton over the course of 8 years.
Okay, so now you're talking about an area I know. So I grew up in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
actually, but then I moved to Orange County to be with a girl because she lived in Orange County. She lived in Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
And just before we started dating or whatnot, she was in Irvine and I was going to Fullerton College. This was back in 1997. 97? I'm 48, my man. So I got a few years on you. But so 97, I went to Fullerton College. I know Huntington Beach well. I know that whole area pretty well. And so you don't live in California anymore.
No, I'm in North Carolina now. I lived right in downtown Fullerton for about a year or so. So right there.
So and what year did you live there?
In Fullerton, that would have been, I think, 2019. 2019.
Yeah, you missed me about 20 years. I was working at Disneyland in 2000. That was, man, a while back. All right, it's weird. It's like a time warp. All right, so you're now in North Carolina, and you're married. Do y'all have children? Are you planning on having children? Just
Nope. I've got a dog and that's enough.
that's a lot. Yeah, I get it. All right, so why video? Why is, like, a lot of people, not everybody likes to get in front of the camera. How do you feel about getting in front of it? Why is video so important to you?
I think video is the best way to communicate your personality and your expertise. The industry that I got started in with video marketing is in the behavioral health space. So with drug and alcohol treatment centers, therapists, psychologists, doctors. And so, our theory behind why video is so important is that how did people before therapists, word of mouth, Psychology Today listings, Google listings, the phone book, their website, maybe some social media posts and stuff, but not video. And that led to huge client patient drop offs because there's a mismatch in communication styles and expertise and how they can relate to you. And so video shows your expertise. It shows your cadence. It shows your communication style. It shows, how you are an expert in every way. And so people can get a better understanding of you and how you can relate to them and what benefits that you can offer to that prospective client before they even reach out to you. And so that's video is everything. We are speaking on a video conferencing platform right now. This conversation would be a lot different over the phone because I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. And that, at its underlying thing, that is why video is so important, especially in today's age on short form content, on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. When you're creating educational content for your target client, you're looking at the camera and the person watching is watching the phone. And so there is a psychological eye contact there. You swipe up and an expert in whatever industry is like, are you dealing with this problem? I understand. Here's a solution to that problem. Here's how it's relatable to you. And by the way, if you want to contact me, you can do it in my bio and we can chat a little bit more about this. You've just built a little bit of rapport in a way that's really only available through video. You could argue audio and written, but for many of us, I'm a visual learner and I can, sense bullshit better if I'm looking at the person rather than hearing the person or reading the person.
So that means that you can communicate truth, the opposite of bullshit, right? You can communicate truth better by,
Yeah.
and I love that. So I get the feeling that the decision to do video was a conscious decision out of the ability to be more effective. And it's almost like maybe an analytical style of choosing video. Does that resonate?
Yeah, I mean, I was always doing social media marketing. And, part of my goal when I moved out to California was to get into video production. So at the time, I was really interested in film. And I'm a, big cinephile or movie buff, whatever. And stumbled into this internship at a video production, video marketing agency that was the behavioral health expertise. And I thought of it, at the time I was like, oh, this is my foot in the door to learn more about camera equipment and gear and stuff. And I just loved it because it just connected, all the dots of what I was doing previously with the implementation of video. And it just was a perfect match.
Did you ever get into filmmaking?
No.
Was
Nope.
that a thought, or was it just I wanted to understand cameras?
That was the thought. Yeah, I wanted to get into. I wanted to be like a director. I wanted to make films, but I couldn't be happier with where my life took me.
Yeah, well, in many ways you are a director, right? I mean, let's be honest, the directors are great video salesmen. But they just kind of direct other people to sell the idea and so on, right? So it's funny you're saying all these things because I'm just finding all these similarities. I actually I studied film in college. I was a filmmaking major. I loved similar as what you would call a cinephile. I was too. And I was the kind of guy that would go into a video store and be like, I've already seen all the stuff that everyone typically sees. And I would grab random movies that I don't even know what they are. And I would just take them home and watch them just to see what it is. Like I wanted to see something that I'd never seen before and just can be completely surprised, and you watch a lot of bad movies that way, but you learn some pretty cool things about filmmaking. And in particular, I spent some time in Culver City working with a company called Tolan Robbins. So Tolan Robbins, if you're familiar with Brian Tolan, Brian Robbins, Mike Tolan, actually, they did a lot of documentaries, but they also made some movies. And I got hired in as an intern there to be an intern for a new project that they were calling a mix between Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Superman, and it was called Smallville.
Oh wow!
I got to be an intern on that show, and like I was like, oh, cool, I love Superman. And of course you get to work for free, but it was awesome to do that. Hearing that that you had interest in film and you're a film. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. I'm gonna tell you, you're a filmmaker, man, because you're a storyteller using a visual medium, right? The video medium, especially your videos where you're saying these 5 websites are going to change the world. Like that's a story you're telling in each video. Is that a conscious decision for you? I'm going to do a video that tells a story. Is that, or is it more like I'm going to do a video that does this because it works?
No, they're skits, and they're fun to do. And I try and work in progression throughout. And there's also, like watch time is arguably the most important aspect of success on video. So the more watch time that you can get, the more your videos will be surfaced to more people. And how do you increase watch time is by telling story and taking people along for a journey and re-triggering dopamine receptors in their heads. So, everything is very strategically executed. I've done it like thousands of times now, so I kind of got it down, but I originally was sort of storyboarding it. And actually I still script it out beforehand. So I will script out, like when I'm doing those videos, I will script out the opening line, and then I will script out my reaction, and then website, and then reaction. And then I, pick out different clothes because, if you're having that conversation style with yourself, you have to wear 2 different clothes, or I'll take my glasses off. And it kind of is like it's a skit. It's a mini skit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of little tactics and well. Oh, hold on, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Am I back now? Is it working now?
Yes, yeah.
My internet went goofy for a second. Okay. So, man, I'm digging on this because you never know. You never know why people do what they do or where they come from. And so here we are. We're mixing. Oh, this is interesting. I actually think about this. So we're mixing art, right? Which is what your marketing is. It's art. And then we're mixing with this muscle of we want to convert, right? And converting is, in your case, you're saying watch times. So I'm trying to create art that converts into watch times. And just like someone's going like, I'm going to make a blockbuster movie that converts in ticket sales, right? Or and so on. So it sometimes it feel like for me, it feels like the art and the converting of the we'll say, video views and watch times are two different muscles. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that this is easy. It's not. It's it's a lot of work. There's a lot of individual skills that you have to learn over time. Scripting, storyboarding, finding the time to create content, editing it in a way that tells a cohesive story that keeps the attention and keeps re-triggering attention so that they don't get bored. Do it in a way that it's entertaining or edutaining and providing value to them, and consistently doing it every single day. There's so many little components to it.
What are some things that that you feel like you had to pay the price to earn? Because like we can pay people can pay you to come say, hey, teach me how to do what you do. There's something that you can guide them to go do, but they have to earn that. Like we'll say, earn that skill or earn that ability or earn that belief. When I ask that question, what are some thoughts that come to your mind?
Well, you have to be willing to put in the action. You could learn a million things and maybe be a teacher of it, but it's better to get the results yourself. So, what comes to my mind is I am now friends and colleagues with a lot of the digital marketing experts that I've looked up to over the last 10 years. We're on a very close basis, and that is very surreal to me, but it's because I paid my way into that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's quite a few ways that you pay into that. You can pay into that through going to industry conferences and networking with people and learning and sitting front row and asking questions and paying for coaching, paying for services from people, and then taking action and implementing everything that you learn, and then getting results, and then paying that back to them, and then building this nurturing relationship where it's beneficial, sharing the stage, referring people to that. There's so many things here. Like I have paid my way over the last 18 years, from being in front of people, paying to get their attention, to learn from them, and actually take action on it, and then getting the results, and then sharing those results with people that I admire and look up to, and just staying consistent over time. Payment looks differently for different people. I mean, you can pay with time, you can pay with attention, you can pay with action, or you can pay with money. So
What are a few of those people you mentioned, these mentors that are now friends?
yeah, I mean, people that come to mind are Owen Video, Jeremy Vest, Sean Cannell, Mike Stelzner. Those are some of those are some of the immediate ones that come to mind, that I've shared the stage with some of these guys that I've seen speak for the past decade. Yeah, amazing people.
What was there something that collectively they all had that you wanted? Besides obviously the following and the success, maybe something personal.
Yeah. You got to have a little ego at play here, so like the recognition of an expert in the craft that they've been dedicating their life to. Like I've been dedicating my life to this, like, it's nice to be respected. I think, for something that you've been doing for so long.
Yeah, because and maybe this is something we should talk about, because I want to spend some time on talking about syllabi because it's so great. But the this concept of wanting that recognition, what comes to my mind is knowing you're good at something and it feels like you're the only one that knows it. And there's this level of kind of like a belief and faith you are operating on. Like you're just like literally living on faith, living on belief. And in many ways, it'll keep you alive, but at sometimes you start to feel like you need more. It would be nice for the faith and the belief to be replaced with real results, actual people saying, I love Austin. What he does has changed my life. And then you're like, wow, I've been dreaming, I've been living on faith that that would happen for so long to actually experience it now. Would you say that kind of adds to the hunger or the thirst for that?
Yeah, and I think I got, I am the way that I am because I had that early success with MySpace at such a young age. And before you turn 25, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, right? And so when you're 14, 15, 16, 18 years old, you're still your circumstances of what you're learning, and the dopamine triggers in your brain that excite you, make long lasting impacts on what happens to you later on as an adult. And that really drives me, and so I continue to chase more and more of that. uh, I've always been a proponent of the long game, and I do that through celebrating every little win. I have never given up. On YouTube, it took me like 600 videos uploaded before something exploded. I've posted thousands and thousands of videos before things started to really click in many different industries, and I've had many failed channels. You have to be comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable that it's not going to be an overnight thing. You have to be in it for the journey, and you have to love what you do. Like, above all else, above business and above making money, I love creating content, and that's what has helped me continue doing this for so long. Like, I am just a content creator. This is what I love to do. I love to make videos. And the more, recognition that you get over time fuels back into that endless cycle of, like, making videos that actually make an impact on people, and then hearing that impact makes it all worth it. But it keeps you excited to continue creating new content every day.
Yeah. Boy, you said it, brother. You said it. This is one of the reasons why, for me, testimonials have always been so important. Like when I'm sharing a testimonial online, it's me wanting to see it physically on print, in print, someone saying that something I've done has made a difference for them.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, I post it because I want to see it on there because it helps me. Because you know what it's like to grind and not get that kind of feedback, especially, and you don't get it right away. Sometimes it takes a really long time. I haven't been doing, internet marketing nearly as long as you have. I started back in January of 2015, and similar to you, somebody had told me video was the right way to go, but I wanted video more than anything because he said, this is your first lesson. You hold the phone like this, and you hold it just above your eye level, and you look into the camera and you speak truth. And that was my first training of internet video marketing. So I did that, and not even knowing what I was doing. Like you said, I loved turning on the camera and sharing something that I believed would make a difference for someone that day. And for me, it was an internal motivation because I was in a dark place back then. And I just desperately was like looking for something that would help me feel good about me, right? And so for me, doing videos was always just like every single day, let me do something that makes me feel good. And then, like you said, the results start to come, and you're like, oh, okay, thank goodness. It's nice
Yeah.
to know that I can make a living on this instead of going to work and then can't wait to get off work so I can go do more videos. I'd rather work be my videos and then the rest of my day. So, okay, so I want to get into syllabi, but to transition, you're a content creator. And I want to ask a question because I think this is part of where Syllabi came from. Is as a content creator, you have now, I'm guessing, have tapped into the reality that there is a limitless amount of information inside of you. And like you couldn't do enough videos to get all that out. Would you say that's true?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so let's talk about the birth of Syllabi. How did this come about? And does that help with you satisfying this need to get what's inside out more?
Yeah, I mean, my why is that social media has changed my life, and I just want to provide the tips, tools, step-by-step strategies to help other people change their lives as well. And, having worked with so many businesses over the years, my agency is coming up on 5 years old. We've worked with hundreds of businesses. The agency, we built a step-by-step repeatable process of best practices that has worked really well. And it's what I've done with my own personal brand to grow on social. But there's a lot of problems when it comes to creating content online and creating video content that we saw that were repeatable problems. And they are, I don't know what topics to create content on. I don't know what to say on camera every day so that it resonates with my audience. I need help staying consistent and accountable because I'm a busy person. I don't like being on camera. And it's expensive to hire a marketing agency, hire internal staff to do video and social media marketing for me, and to figure out a bunch of tools and the camera equipment and all this stuff to do it myself. So, that's why they hire an agency, or that's why they hire teams and whatnot. But that's limiting. That only so many business owners and solopreneurs and startup founders can afford to pay for that. And so the idea for Syllabi really came of, well, how can we use software and artificial intelligence to streamline what an agency does into a tool and give this step-by-step process and the solutions to basically everybody. And no tool is going to be a perfect fit for everybody. But we've essentially taken it from paying $5,000 a month to paying $50 a month. And, that's about as affordable as we could possibly get it. But yeah, so what Syllabi does is it shows you the basically endless topics that you can create content on, questions that your customers are searching for online with data to back it up. My philosophy as well is that social media platforms are search engines. People are just looking for information a little bit differently than Google. And when you answer a specific question that resonates with your target client or customer, it's going to be evergreen, and it's going to increase that engagement, and they're going to pay closer attention because it really resonates with their problems. We then take those questions and topics, and we generate video scripts for them, applying best practices of what works on a video script on social. A strong opening hook. We talk about a problem related to that topic. We share education and solutions to that problem, and then a closing call to action to tell them what to do next to increase engagement and increase conversions for you. So you know what to say on camera. And then if you don't like being on camera, we have AI, human realistic avatars in the platform as well. And we're also rolling out various types of content creation in the future with faceless B-roll videos and whatnot. And so if you don't like being on camera, we actually have the technology that you can have a AI spokesperson, and you can create that video right in the app with the press of a button, control its voice, the tone, etc. We have an editor in Syllabi right now. We're working on a much more advanced and powerful custom video editor as well. So very soon, and the end of this month, we're planning on rolling it out. You'll be able to edit the videos right within Syllabi, make them perfect social media ready videos. And then we have a content calendar and consistency tracker in it. So you can actually organize your content schedule on a month by month basis and mark it as complete. So you've sort of gamified it, and You know that you've completed that video, and here's a little cookie for you. And then direct publishing. So we have direct social media publishing, so you can link your social media accounts and publish them directly from Syllabi. And then the next step is we're working in analytics, so you can track it. So basically, it's a step-by-step streamlined process for everything that goes into growing on social media. And that's what Syllabi is, and it's been a blessing. We launched it at the beginning of this year. And to go back to the beginning of this episode, the epiphany, like I spent the last 2 years building up an audience, sharing AI tools and useful websites, so that when I launched my own and put my personal brand behind it and said, this is my processes, if you don't want to hire me or my agency, or you just want to get started, go check out my tool. We've made it as affordable as possible. There's a free trial. See if it's for you. There's no cost, no strings attached. Give it a shot. And that strategy worked like crazy. So it's just a full on cycle. And even though I'm 19 years in, I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the thing that excites me, is that you've come this far with the platform, and just like all good creators, it never stops growing. Walt Disney said Disneyland's never going to be finished. I get the feeling that that's the philosophy you're bringing to this platform, is that it's always going to get better.
Yeah, we just want it to be the best platform possible to create the best videos for your business on social media.
It's exciting. So one of the things I thought would be fun for us to demo it. I don't know, can you do that right now, or do I? Because I can go grab one of your videos and I put it into this interview here so people can see it. But if you can, that would be kind of fun if that's a thing. I'm gonna just make you a co-host if that helps.
Sure.
And then we'll wrap up this this freaking awesome interview with just a little look-see of what it looks like. And so for those of you that are watching there live, you probably see some buttons around for you to go try this out for yourself. Obviously, go. Let's let the master work on this one. All right, what are we?
This is Syllabi. So the website is syllaby.io. We just were product of the day on here, so we're proudly presenting that badge.
I said, great, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was, oh my gosh, a quick note on that. I live streamed for 8 hours straight, nonstop, promoting that product hunt launch. I blocked off my calendar. Our team spent a month of prep work to prepare for that launch. And I had one singular goal that day, is to be the #1 product of the day on Product Hunt. And we did it. And so, when you hyper focused on one thing, you can achieve anything, folks. Did I freeze? Did you freeze? Oh, there you go. Okay. So this is how Syllabi works. So when you first sign in here, we take you to the Discover Ideas page. And depending when you're watching this is going to change a little bit. We're in the spirit of always evolving, we're rolling out a new dashboard that's going to be a lot more powerful. But this is the Discover Ideas phase here. And so you can type in anything related to your business here. I like to go with VA loans. We have a lot of mortgage brokers and real estate agents that use Syllabi. And so if you want to find questions that people are searching for around VA loans, you can just click Discover Ideas on that. And it'll show you a big list of questions and topics that people are searching for online. We have it ranked for you. We show you the search volume, the cost per click, so you can see how valuable these topics are and how competitive it is. And so now, if you want to create content on any one of these, you can just click on this. We do support multiple languages here. I only speak English, so I'm just going to click Generate Outline on that. I've been so focused on content creation, I haven't had time to learn another language yet.
How dare you?
So we've generated an outline here, and then to generate a video script is very simple. So we can choose the style, you can choose the tone of voice here, you can choose the length of the video script, and then all you need to do is click on Generate Script. And this will just take a quick second here. And it'll actually generate a social media ready video script for you.
But
So
when
there
I jumped on your platform when you first, I think we're right around when you first launched it. And I can already see it is light years in just a short while, light years ahead of what it was when you first started. This is awesome. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, we have even more. We have a whole new, much more simplified UI design coming up. I have the best team in the world, and so you can always, with AI, like use it as a time saving thing. So like while this is a fairly social, add your expertise to it, add your website in here, make it specific to you. But in 30 seconds, we've found the topics to create content on, generated a video script. If you don't like being on camera, we have a lot of avatars built in here. We're constantly creating and shooting new avatars. You can control the voices as well and select one.
Happiness can exist only
for you.
A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart.
We go with that one. And then you can choose different background colors here, whatever. This is just a preview of what it's going to look like. And then all you need to do if you want to create that video is click on generate, and it will generate this video. I'm going to show you what one already looks like, because it takes about 4 to 5 minutes to generate the video. But I believe this is one. Let's see here. Okay, so here's an example of a video that we had created before.
Ever thought of becoming a commercial real estate agent? It's not just about dealing with properties, it's about unlocking potential and creating opportunities. However, getting there isn't a walk in the park.
And so you can create videos very quickly for social media. You can then download the video here. It'll download an MP4. You can copy the link of that video and send that to somebody. We have our video editor built in here, which we're working on enhancement as well. Or you could click publish, and that'll take you over where you can directly schedule and publish. We've even made this simple, like if you click suggest me post content, it'll use AI to generate the descriptions of the videos for you. But we can just click, test there for purposes, click customize for each platform. And you can customize what it's going to look like before you even publish it. So on YouTube Shorts, for instance.
Ever thought of becoming a commercial real estate agent?
We have the demo there. You can add the title, the tags, the visibility, upload a thumbnail.
That's so good.
We also have our content calendar here as well that I'll quickly show you. So there's two list views here. So this is the consistency tracker. So every time you create a new piece of content, it'll be in here. Let's say we've published that video, just mark it as complete, and it increases your consistency tracker so you can build that habit of consistency. Or you can switch over to calendar view here, for instance. And if we switch this back to November, say, it'll show you all of the content that you have scheduled for that month, so you can stay organized. So that's a quick demo of Syllabi, but and we're always working on making it even better and more user friendly and intuitive.
I'm going to share one thing that Austin, just thank you so much for your time. Seriously, so much. I really I learned a lot in listening to you talk about these things. There are so many things I love to talk about. And the thing that I talk about in my brand, is in helping people, build their businesses authentically. I love that. And that makes me happy. But there are a lot of things that I would love to be talking about that it just doesn't quite, for me, I haven't figured out how to mesh it in with what I sell and what I do. And I have a feeling you have a similar problem. And so I'm thinking with a tool like this, I could really have a good time starting up a social media channel that just talks about something completely different than what I sell or promote, and then just start using this to go to town and start building an audience with that. And that really excites me. And so it kind of, if we're to look at this from my perspective, this tool gives me an opportunity to express the love I have for other things without having to spend, you know, all the time and the hours and all that stuff and creating that content. You can kind of, with your tool, I can be able to start on that. Like for me, one of the things I love talking about is all the different tools to market a business. Okay, yeah. Sure.
That's a good segue. I wanted to show an example of exactly that. So, you know, maybe a little morally, ethically ambiguous, because I am not a therapist, but it's an industry that I know very well. So basically, we deep faked myself, and we took all of these topics for, you know, narcissism, signals a relationship is dying, what is the scapegoat in a toxic family, things that I know absolutely nothing about. And we're building channels in various industries with my deepfake avatars that look and sound like me, and my voice, and creating entire channels. So you know, we're essentially using Syllabi to create an army of influencers.
Okay, so I just to ask, and then we'll wrap up. I can go and I can create an avatar with my look.
Not yet.
Doing that yet?
Not yet. That's coming very soon. So we have the technology. We can. It's a very manual process. We're working on the UI design of that to make it very simple in hand. But yeah, that will be a feature very soon within Syllabi.
Well, brother, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for your time, man. This has been awesome, and I can't wait for everybody I know to go try out your platform with me, to just start using it and ultimately get what's inside of you out into the world, because it doesn't do any good in here, right? We need to get it out. And so thank you for being a part of that, brother. Thank you for all the years of putting in the time and effort to care about these things and doing that work, because now we get to benefit.
Eddie, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Well, take care. Have a great day. And everybody, please go follow my man, Austin Armstrong. Tell him you heard him on this show, and we'll see you all on the next call. Bye, everybody. And